established, okay? And what I want to tell you,
If we've heard it already.
if you've heard it, you can go. But do you know where to go if you're here and there's an emergency,
Yes.
okay? If there's a fire on this end of the building, you gotta get out of this end of the building, okay? There are two places on the grounds where adults are supposed to evacuate if they call for an evacuation. Don't evacuate if they don't call for it. You'll hear this little alarm that goes ding, 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 okay? Ding, 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 an ascending kind of chime. And that indicates that there is an emergency, and it will be announced as to what it is, unless it's the shooter. They'll say, lock it, they might say, we're having an emergency. They might denote where it is in the building. You don't leave the building if it's a lock and hide, okay? First, Pastor Dwayne said, you run, okay? Next, you hide. If you can't run, you hide, because it's near you. Or you fight if you are so inclined, okay? But we don't want anyone to engage that. I mean, hopefully we'll never have to use these things, but it's better for the church to be prepared. If there's a fire, and I know I've walked out here before and smelled smoke, called the facilities director, and one time I called
Years
Pastor
ago.
Carter when he was pastoring,
Years ago.
because I smelled smoke, and it was a heat pump up in the ceiling that was having an issue. And it was I really did smell smoke, and so they had people address it. So we have safety teams, we have medical teams. All these people are a team lead in case of an emergency, okay? The hosts have their jobs, okay? The greeters have theirs. The hospitality, Eric is very aware of this. He helped produce this into an AI podcast that I can get the link to you all. And you can look at it for yourself. But it basically goes through this packet. Now, in the back of this packet, I'll just tell you, the things that are addressed are fire, severe weather, evacuation, lock and hide, shooter, or some kind of violence on the here, okay? And they have a map of the church, shows where we're supposed to go. If this happens on a Sunday, okay?
It's gonna be.
What if it happens on a Monday night and we're here? Okay, well, on a Sunday, the place in the front parking lot near the entrance where we've done a lot of prayer walking, we know where everything is in this church, because I've taken intercessors every
I grew up
nook and
here.
cranny around here, but, and they call them rally points. And they have, some of the rally points are for children and children's ministers. Two of the rally points are for adults, and since you're all adults in here, I will tell you, we go to the front parking lot in the corner or the back parking lot as far as you can go. You do not go to your cars. If they ever call a fire, we assemble first, okay? Our job as a prayer ministry team is to do what the pastors are doing, to go where the people are, which will be on these ends on a Sunday. And we are to minister to people and comfort them. Whatever we need to do to pray for in the spirit with them over whatever the situation is. Nobody is able to go in or out of the church because it has to stay open for emergency vehicles, ambulances, fire trucks, whatever, police, whatever the situation determines. So they came up with this emergency plan, and I'll tell you one thing that we've had some issues here. You know, one time with rain, I was standing in 3 or 4 inches of water down at the bottom of the sanctuary where we usually pray. We had a tornado warning a couple of weeks ago, brought everybody out of the foyer area where there's glass windows, okay? So if it's severe weather, you have to go to a certain place, okay? The certain place for us on Monday, if a tornado comes through here, all right, and there's damage, we have a couple safe places for this team. What you do, you go on into this map, and they're not going to do, I don't think they're doing this training for everybody. They're doing it for team leaders, okay? So if you want to see this, I'll show it to you. But we should know where the fire alarm poles are nearest where we are in ministry, okay? Which we have an AED, which is a defibrillator. We have a fire extinguisher next to the front door. We have several fire alarm pools, okay? Back in the front here, okay? There's some also in the back. But we should know where the closest of those are in case we ever have an issue for a fire. For a lock and hide, I say follow the safety team director. They're gonna be on radios, they're gonna be talking to the children's workers. The hardest thing about this is parents are not allowed to go be with their children. The reason is the children aren't gonna be there. They're gonna be evacuated to a safe place. And they actually have reunification areas on each of the children's rally areas, okay? Like behind the nursery, behind the kitchen, down at the far end where the kids' entrance is, out in the grass, okay? If they have to evacuate the building, the children's workers and the safety team office is down at the end of Ministry Row, down here, okay? So they will be communicating, but we as a prayer team have to know our role. So we want to be able to minister to people, comfort people, and you really may have to comfort some parents who are trying to get to their kids. Or people want to go to their cars. We don't want anyone to go to their cars, okay? We want everyone to be accounted for at one of the two rally points at the back of the parking lot or the front parking lot next to the thing. And you never walk across the road where the emergency vehicles go, okay? Now, crazy thing, what if a plane landed on our church or on our church property? Okay, that's, could be fire, okay, could be roof damage, and a lot of these is just common sense. Look, President Trump says, let's have some common sense here, okay? You don't want to go where a big roof in the sanctuary could fall down on top of your head or in the middle of the FLC. So there are places in each of these areas that are designated safe. They're away from windows, they're next to concrete walls. So, the two safest rooms without windows for us on Monday night are the nursing mother's room and what they call M5. It's kind of like the green room. It's where the worship people hang out on Sunday mornings. And that's right, this room right here, and the room right next to us here before you get to M2. M2 has windows, okay, so we don't go there. We're not doing this room, so we have windows on the doors. If there was a shooter and you were trying to lock and hide, it would be hard in this room to stay out of the line of vision through the window. So that's why we go to rooms that have no windows, okay? So these are on the map. If you all want to take a look at this, you can. It's very well done though, but it really, and I'm gonna walk you all out when we go out in a few minutes, and you'll probably get to go early, okay? But I wanted to walk you and show you where closest things are that you need to know, okay, when you're here Monday night. Sunday is a whole different ballgame. We got people all over the campus. We got parking lot people. We got, kids on one end of the building, upstairs on the second floor. Just for you to know, the teachers all have radios in each of their rooms, okay? And they know they go to channel 4, turn the volume down so no one can hear them. Get out of the line of vision of any. Go to a lock and hide area, go into a closet, go into a bathroom, somewhere where you can hide, okay? And the teachers know what to do. Okay, the children's workers, the team leaders of the kids group are in the training too. So we're even gonna have pots, like buckets, with kitty litter in it, in case, because if there's an emergency on campus, you may be here a while. Little kids have to pee and poop and everything else, so there's going to be a bucket of kitty litter in each of the classrooms with some emergency supplies for the children, so that the teachers will be with the kids, though they won't leave the kids. All right?
If they're school-age kids, they do this in the schools.
Yeah,
So
right. They already do that. So, well, they've talked to a lot of the pastors here are all connected to other pastors. And apparently some delivery people came and cased out some churches, taking pictures when they came. They didn't deliver anything, but they had a delivery truck, or, they weren't who they said they were. Now, we always have 2 law enforcement officers, and always they will contact as long as they're here and able to function, they will call outside emergency agencies in to help us. So it's better to have a plan and be prepared than not to know what the heck to do, okay? So we have a role as prayer people. Eric will probably have to stay with his greeters, because the greeters are on the hosts, the greeters are on the outside, hosts are in the foyer, helping to direct traffic to the exits. So there are different exits that are used depending on what's going on, okay? If there's a fire, we want to be away from the fire, okay? So there are exits to go to evacuate. All this will be coordinated by safety team and med team, pastors will be helping, but there will be, the hosts and the greeters have been trained on where to go, how to get people, so we're walking around the building, close to the building, okay, if we have to evacuate, and not crossing the roads or going to cars, okay? So, because even when we vacate the parking lot, it's gonna have to be done in an orderly fashion, okay? And we don't get to vacate until the police say we can vacate, or the fire.
Of course.
Okay? So, any questions? Anybody want to look at this? There's several diagrams. I'm going to take you out, and you want to see it? Sure. I could get you all,
Is that the video itself? I'd like to see that.
it's the link to the AI thing, and Pastor Dwayne said we could have it, and we can share it with y'all. So, he, it just happened yesterday, so, he hasn't sent me a link yet. But when he does, I'll be glad to pass it on to you, so you can just feel more prepared and stuff. So, because many of you I know serve in different ministries, so it depends on which team you're on the Sunday. If you're working with, on the prayer team, you're a host, a greeter, or working with kids. So, but it's pretty detailed. So you want to see what it looks like? Yeah. Pass that around. Okay, you can try to cut that off now.